Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the press coming to you live from KAFTAN Television, Abuja. The press is a program where we have an in-depth analysis of our major headlines on the national dailies. This session we are having a guest, a public affairs analyst in person of Comrade Duke Alamboye, the national president, Nigeria Youth Organization. Good morning, our Comrade President. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning to having me. Thank you.
Today, remember, you equally have opportunity where you can call in and make your own contributions towards the development of our nation, Nigeria. Right now, Comrade, we want to look at MG invites unions as strike grounds versities. Right now, SSANU, NASU has a senior staff academic union has commenced strike yesterday, being the 28th of October, based on the fact that 2 years ago there was a strike that involved all the unions in Nigerian universities. That was ASU strike, where the non-academic staff equally joined in that strike. But along the way, there was this decision by the federal government of no work, no pay. But at a point, the unions protested and there were discussions. At the end of the day, federal government decided to call and settle only ASU by paying the outstanding 9 months arrears to ASU, while neglecting the other non-academic unions in the Nigerian universities. And this has brought a whole lot of issues, where even at a point where the president had advised that this money should be paid to the non-academic unions, they are still yet to receive this outstandings. And then there's also a case of academic staff union of polytechnics, where they are equally embarking on strike. And you know, this is, at this point in time, is where we cannot take a chance of embarking on strike as it relates to our Nigerian universities. So what's your take on this? Must the government always wait for the unions to embark on strike? Why is it that government find it difficult to keep to some of the agreements entered with these unions?
Okay, well, it's not even an issue of keeping to agreement, in my own opinion. I think these are one of the decays we have in the educational sector. Ability to proactively engage these unions. The unions are there to protect the rights of their members, and when they find it infringing, they contact and try to meet with appropriate bodies. So I think you are also correct when you said the lackadaisical attitude government pay to unions and the worries of its people. This is one of it. And I could remember, yes, they joined the ASU strike, and where the government also, at the time, the government said no work, no pay, to make them come back to work. And I think from records we have, ASU has been paid. So I don't see any reason why the polytechnics and the non-academic staff of the same ASU will not be paid their arrears, so to say. So, and I'm very sure that we give God the glory that the Minister of Education has also been changed. If I'm not mistaken, he has been moved from his office. So this is also one of the ineptitude from his own side. He was not the right peg for that hole, and I think that change is telling on what this subject matter is talking about. So I think a new minister is on, and I want to rather plead that they should give them opportunity to come back to the round table and discuss. But let me take our minds out of these roundtable issues. Must the deficiencies of government show before they take active measures? Why are they not always proactive? Are there not people that gives them feedback of what is happening in the schools, both at secondary, primary and tertiary institutions. So why would it always be that welfare of teachers in this country is becoming a problem? I don't want to see that as a weakness. I think it's deliberate. These appointees, ministers and all of them, they all have their enumerations at the end of the month and all of that. So why wouldn't they care for teachers that we hold, people hold in the world? Teachers are held in high esteem. So it's sad that all the time ASU or academic staff or doctors begin to embark on strike.
Sorry to cut you in. Still on strike. Recently, the school, primary, secondary schools resumed, I think September 9 or something.
Yes.
I am here to tell you that for over a month, primary schools in the FCT, teachers embarked on strike. They just called that strike less than 3 weeks. So if you can gather all these facts,
it's sad. It's sad. If there's any area development should be given attention to, it's also the educational sector, where it's touching on the products we get out of school, both at primary school, at secondary school, and at the university level. You see, so many parents these days have lost faith in the public schools, not because there are no good teachers, but because the teachers there now begin to run the affairs of the school. They want to win some caprices in their own endeavor, what they can meet up with, because there are certain standards that government need to meet up for them to work optimally. So when these things are absent, at the time that we're even crying of fuel increment in the country, who goes to work to go and teach? You know, when the source of going out is even very expensive. So it's sad to hear this. I think government should do a lot of reload in the educational sector, not only at the tertiary level. The tertiary level is even a little bit fair. If you go to the secondary school teachers, you hear complaints here and there. The enumerations are not given. Some teachers do not even go to work out of 5 days of the week. They go just merely 3 or 4 times because of this hardship surrounding their living. So I think the new minister is here. He has a very peculiar task to carry out to see how we can satisfy, if not fully, to certain very valuable percentage of ensuring that teachers, when I mean teachers, I'm not talking about tertiary institutions,
teachers
generally, their welfare, because what sustains a teacher is the welfare.
Yes.
You know, so many things that they do have been taken away from them, textbooks, all those things. They stop them from doing all those things. So where they used to have little stipends, but the core essence of working, everybody that works must have his wages. I think federal government needs to do a whole lot of reframing and reorganization in that sector to ensure that we don't see all these incessant strikes from people that are going to impact values in people that owns the country in the next future.
Okay, sir, before we move ahead, do you think this strike, because now NANS have come out to say, to compel the government to pay, because I think it boils down to they are the worst hit, the students here.
Yeah.
So in your own opinion, do you think this strike of a thing has a negative impact on the students at the end of the day?
Of course, when you strike, there's a lot of resources is put into it. The teachers go home, the students are left behind, will not be able to go back to their various homes.
Exactly.
Because tentatively they don't even know what the nature of the strike will look like. So you see students roaming around the streets, getting them involved with themselves into lots of vices in the society, because their place of abode is supposed to be the school. The school system is broken. They can't go back home. The ones that will even go back home will even reluctantly may not be able to come back to school because of, in fact, it has a psychological effect on children and students. So it's not good for that aspect. Secondly, the curriculum is always bridged. When they are always abridging the curriculum, it's sad, and people can hardly meet up the terms activities. So it is in all ramification. The instrument strike is bad, and the actors that allow strike to come into being is also not helping the educational system. I think it's high time they started, being proactive to issues that concerns basically teachers, so that this strike, they say when two people fight is the elephant fight is the ground that suffered. In this case, the students are at the receiving end, and they barely may not complete their 4 years in school. They barely may not even understand what the school curriculum will be at the end of the day, and getting stranded. Some people travel from far away their states to other states to attend schools, basically the universities. So you can see how stranded these persons will be, and then finding themselves in things that they ought not to find themselves within the society. So I think it has lots of impact on the students, and it's not a good thing to talk about.
Okay, let's put this call.
Hello?
Hello, good morning, sir. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
I'm Gideon calling from Lagos.
How is Lagos today, Gideon? Good morning.
The weather is getting warm.
Okay. So what do you have to contribute regarding the strike, the strike in our Nigerian institutions?
You see, this strike of a team, they are moving it from one administration to another administration. See, the government, they have no plan for our educational system.
Why do you say that?
Well, these people that are saying they are Minister of Education, Commissioner of Education, ask them, where are their children today? Are they in our Nigeria university? The UK, Canada, US? They don't know the pace of our youth in this country. In terms of education. Even the current Minister of Education, let him bring out one out of his children that is attending Nigeria University, or that is attending a government primary school or secondary school. Their children are attending where they are paying 1,500,000 per term. So they don't know the pace of we Nigerians. Like as I'm here now, even they themselves attended a missionary school that we are not paying cover. That they are undergo free education. A Ghanaian, an Indian taught me in secondary school. Even they themselves, they undergo this the same system. They now come back in return to pollute our country.
So
the same people that they are setting up all these private universities, private schools. They are the people damaging the government schools so that they can start, so that they are their own business. They are the educational institute with that functioning.
So in all this, what do you think should be the solution to end an incessant strike in Nigerian universities, please?
What they should do is they should discourage private universities. How do they do that? How would they do it? It's to improve the educational system of the government owned universities, and so that those ones in the private university, they would like to leave that place and go to the government universities. If you see most of these people that are attending these private universities, they are the politicians, the well-to-do people that stole our money. That they can pay 500,000 per term for a school in private schools. Even the churches that they are establishing university private schools, they don't even do more. The churches, they use the poor people money to build universities. They will still be collecting 500,000, 100,000. 1 million.
So thank you for your call.
What are we benefiting as a citizen of this country? What are we benefiting from this government?
Thank you for your call. Give us the opportunity to call, to pick some other call.
No light, no road, no tea, no food.
Thank you. Bye for now. It's just pouring out his mind.
Yeah, that is how painful. That's how painful it is. But there's one aspect of his submission that is not visible. You know, people have rights of association and rights to school. Anywhere you want your child to gain education, you could do that. But I agree with him completely. The standard of education. In fact, we should also have state of emergency on education.
Exactly.
A total reform. One of the recommendations I wanted him to give is total reform. We need a total reform. In fact, the minister should invoke a conference of educationists in the country. Let's see the policies again. Let's see the areas that can be reformed, you know, so that it will help, because the policy that governs the school system is a cake. So when ASU or the school unions comes up with some demand that is new, they are not also succeeding, and that is because it does not conform to the standard that is laid down in the constitution. So sometimes you don't also blame government that often. So there are procedures, the bureaucracy around the schools system, the operation of the school system is also not helping the issues. So when you go to the minister and make a demand, the minister or the ministry or the government is not passionate, is not emotional about those demands. They just try to see how it conforms with the acts. So I think there's a need for total reform of this educational system. I insist, from primary down to
tertiary.
And until we start doing it, we will not get it right.
You know, you said you don't really conform with his submission in the aspects of where he said the politicians, the children, the rich, their own children attend a private school.
Yes.
I think to me they are doing that because they've already seen that the situation, our own education sector is already decayed, and what he's trying to say, I'm not holding breath for him, but I feel same, because in a situation whereby the children of the politicians attend. For instance, when I was in secondary school, I was privileged to attend a mission school, which was one of the best in this country. And then we had children of governors being our classmates, commissioners. We had expatriates. Most of my friends were expatriates. Foreigners. We were together in the same class, the same dormitory, and all that. That was because our system, education, the system was was standard then. But as it is, a big man can never be comfortable to send his or her child to government school, because they already know that they won't get anything from it. I think that is where his lamentation is coming from.
Even the days you refer to, when the public schools are more standard than the private schools.
Yes.
I'm sure people would have also cried out to say they should encourage privatization. What brought about private owners school is the call for privatization. So where the less privileged or the less income parents and could afford their schools. Don't forget, that time you're even talking about, to enter into a public school was not easy.
It was
not. You have to do lots of exams, you have to do your measurements, you have to do this to access a public school. So the private school became an alternative school for...
There were even very few private schools.
Became an alternative schools for, you know, people that could not make that standard. Sometimes you attend the private school to beef up your standard before you could be admitted into the public sector. But today, you're correct, the reverse is the case. So the question is not about where one attends. It's about standardizing the system. So when the system is standard, it's competitive, and competition gives rise to standardization. So if you say we disembark the private schools and own up to public schools alone, these issues will still turn around. But I think the basic thing is to bring back the public schools to standards that it will be enviable for people to begin to assess
So
again.
even
That is the way we can feel. The man talk was so very emotional about his submissions. We want to feel government.
Yes.
And I think this administration will get it right as they started. Removing the minister itself is a very huge development. So let's see what this minister have in hand to do. I think without much ado, it needs to do a whole lot of reshufflement in the system.
Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Your name and where, bless you too. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
My name is Friday. I'm calling from Abuja.
Oh, Friday, how are you today?
I'm fine. Okay. I regard to the guests in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you. You see, when we talk about education in the country, it's boring. The people at the top has make education. People are beginning to have a different thought over sending their children to higher institutions. And it looks as if this strike of a teen is turning out to be a tradition in our education, in our institution here in the country. You see, when you take one step forward and two steps backwards, strike here and there, you're not doing any help to the students. And let's come back to the the primary level. Over here in Abuja, you can see that the primary school, talking about the government primary school, some of them have not been in school for 3, 4, 5 months. What is that telling those children? They will begin to have a different thought and tell you that, with the little slogan, with the slogan that is going within the country, they will tell you who education help. I don't want to believe that, but because they have created doubts for we Nigerians believing in education. And I want to let you know, you see, just like a football club, for instance, let me make this reference. Just like a football club, when one who owns a football club is a passionate football lover who did not put money first, and you want to put, the glory of the club first. And when he sell the club to a business owners who don't have this passion for football, who only want to make money, you will end up seeing that club relegate. So by the time you appoint some ministers who, when you check their record, you see they are nothing to be running home about, talking about education, or talking about Minister of Education. And those are the kind of people we parade here in the country as the Minister of Education. It's not, we don't know how to begin to advise them, because it's as if these people will hear us saying one or two things on radio and nothing is being done. But we can't stop saying that we need to reform our education. We can't stop saying that they keep telling us when we're in the school that the education is the key. But when you come out from the school with the key, you see that they have changed the padlock. And you came out with the key and you cannot open the door because they have changed the padlock. And they keep telling us at the same time that the youth are the future of this country. And I can see the set of old men of 60 or 70 years who are the futures of the country. How do you expect the country to grow? It's annoying.
All right, thank you. So I don't know if you have anything to contribute to that.
We're
still
still saying the same thing.
Reforms.
I think the basic issue is reforms. They really need to make reforms in this educational sector. Thank God we have a new minister, so I think the pressure should be on him. It's not by solving issues when they arrive. He should sit down. If that's the only thing he achieves before leaving this
thing.
Yes, he should be able to get what are the issues around the primary education, what are the issues around the secondary education, what are the issues around the tertiary education, and begin to holistically address these issues. Until that is done, we'll be looking at solving immediate problems. ASU strike, we say, okay, go and solve it. What are they calling for? Money, give them. ASU strike, what are they calling for? School building. No. It will not help us. Let us begin to have a new framework for the educational system. Look at what is happening now. We direct our attention to how to standardize it. Orientation. Nobody does orientation again. We are not seeing teachers going on orientation, retreat anymore. When we're small, you see they say today there is no school, Wednesday to Thursday, Friday. What happened? Our teachers are going for retreat. This is a way
to freshen up.
Them, make them know more things that they need to know to add up to their personal skills and all of that. These days, we don't see any of those things happen again.
Okay, let's move ahead. We have another interesting major headline here. Electricity crisis hits Niger, others as FG deploys military to protect assets. We'll be having issues of national grid, and now I think it's taking another dimension now, because some states in the northern parts have been affected, and as it stands, from what the federal government says, they will be without lights, 5 good states for 5 solid days. Is it that? Because I think 2 weeks ago we had issues with national grid and all that, and since then we've had like 2-3 experiences of such. What could be the problem? Is it that the minister is not doing something, or some persons are not doing what they need to do, or is it that they are not telling us what we are supposed to know? What could be the problem, and what could be a permanent solution to this?
First of all, let me sympathize with those states that are affected. Let me sympathize essentially with them. At the time where energy is predominantly needed, even the little that we're having, they will not be having it for them. But again, I don't want to also shift this blame basically to the federal government. I want to say that we have been hammering that the fight for insecurity is for all. Yeah. If we keep our hands folded and see these crimes perpetrated on our eyes and feel that, oh, we are not government, so we don't have anything to say, it will hit back at the society. And that's what is happening. I hear from very reliable sources, this morning I read through the papers, that militants, what they call Boko Haram people, or what they call them, have started chasing government properties, and these are properties that is meant for everybody. They should desist from that. It's not telling well. It has come from kidnapping now to the
little we have, the one to destroy it.
So I think the society should frown at it. I'm very happy that the northern leaders are meeting on this issue today or tomorrow, and that is very impressive. They can't wait for federal government. They have to do something. If you don't begin to fight insecurity in your domain, it will escalate. If you don't begin to fight insecurity, vices in your home, you see your small child begin to form the habit of stealing, and you condone it, it will begin to grow and feel that it's a normal life, and begin to practice it outside your doors and your roof, and that will escalate to him knowing that it is something that he can walk away freely with, and that's what is happening. If you don't report these crimes in our communities, the doorsteps of our communities, these guys think that it is the right thing to do, and today now they are striking on public properties. We must condemn that action. Now, who is bearing the brunt? Everybody in the north or those states is affected. So fighting insecurity is not only in the hands of the security agencies, shouldn't be also in the hands of only federal government alone. They can provide the leeway to it. We all have to put our hands on decks to ensure that we do these things and wipe them away thoroughly. Some people have add emotions to the fight for insecurity. Oh, it's my brother. Oh, it's my community person. Oh, it's my state person. So they call, politicians are also involved. They call here and there to say, release this, don't fight this, don't hurt this. Look at, it is taking a different dimension. And if it is not addressed, it will escalate into bombing schools and other facilities owned by federal government. I want to totally condemn this action that is bringing about the grid, the breakdown in the grid, and ensuring and trying to call on stakeholders in those states to beef up their security alertness to see that these boys are not only confined out of the activities but brought to book.
So this issue is as a result of vandalism.
It's a result of vandalism, yeah.
But as it stands,
there was a strike on the facility. So who do you blame that upon? Even though I want to believe that yes, it's not that. You see, this one proactiveness we are still talking about. Something has happened now. They've gone to secure the grid and shouting up and down. Ab initio, why are the grid not secured? So this is the million-dollar question. We should be asking the government too. we know how volatile these areas are, and how these boys are becoming wicked to national upgrade all the time. So we must be preventive at all the time than this what we are seeing today. So, but holistically, to discuss this issue, I want to strictly blame the stakeholders within that area for allowing this to happen. The grid is not an invisible thing; it's a structure.
Yes.
Where if there is any
intruder, you can easily. Because another thought is could it be a collaboration or something?
My thought has also gone to technology. We really need to upgrade our technology in terms of fighting insecurity. If there are technological appliances within the grids and all of that, it's not just human security. Technology restrict so many loss of lives. They could have, if you put soldiers there and they shoot all those people, they would have shot them to death. But when it is technology, you can easily stay at the confines of your home. Today they would have been scavenging for the people that did it, because the devices or the technology would have traced those persons. These days we install CCTV cameras even in our homes, where even an incident has taken place, you can go back to review your CCTV camera and find the perpetrators out. So we need all of this to happen around government facilities, and you could see we're in a nation where even INEC office can be blown
at any time. Very important offices, once there's allegation in those offices, it can be blown anytime. That's because we're not applying technology to fighting insecurity. But generally, do you think what has just happened is it going to tell on the citizen? Is it going to affect businesses and all that in those affected states?
5 days, and you're even talking about businesses, livelihood, hospitals that rely on electricity. So as we speak, some people are on life. What they call and
support.
It will just shoot the cost of the demand for petrol and the petrol consumption in that state. So it's a whole loss to the economy, to social life, and political life. So politically, people will be losing confidence in government. Social wise, so many social activities will die down within this set period. Most people don't even use generator anymore
because of the fear.
The water system do not even carry heavy loads as we anticipate. So the light was always like a substitute. When the light comes, people on their deep freezers try to freeze one or two things. This livestock retailers and wholesalers, they will go to suffer this within this period. And so the economy is going to be the economy of those states is going to be seriously affected. Not only that, the livelihood, social life for people will also diminish, because you have to now power personal appliances to get drinks cold, get other consumables that needs to be get freezed. So these are the issues where they are going to expect. But I think all hands must be on deck too. When you feel that they've not kidnapped your relative, the insecurity has not come to your doorstep. Today now it is telling on the whole state. 5 good states is going down without light for 5 days, and that is going to last for that 5 days, if not more days that will be added. So it's sad.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and where you are calling from?
And you're calling from Comrade.
Okay, please can you make your own contribution?
Please, greet that man in the house for me.
Good morning, my brother.
Okay, thank you. Good to hear.
Good morning.
It's a remain with you.
Amen.
You see, what are we talking about? The country where kidnapping terrorists are disturbing for years and they are not able to cut them. The leaders are involved. Can you hear me?
Yes, but can you prove that?
Hello?
Hello, sir.
I say country where terrorists are disturbing for years, leaders are involved. The leaders of that country are involved. it will not cost our government anything, as my gentleman there is saying, to call these people. With the modern era we have today, there are a lot of modalities they can take. It's like risking the life of our security men, the way this gentleman is saying as well. They are risking the life of our men. So there are a lot of modalities they can take to call this nonsense. But to me, any country where terrorists are disturbing for years, the leaders of that country are involved. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your calling. Thanks for calling, sir. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for your name and where you're calling from, please.
Friday calling back from Abuja.
Okay, Friday. Nice to have you again.
Yes. I hear you asking the customer if he has improved. But you need well that some governor from the north does not look as if
please, can you lower the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you well?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Okay. We all knew that some governors from the north, I don't want to call the name on this very television station so that it don't look as if somebody is, criticizing him or so. But we knew very well that he came on national television in time back to say that terrorism in the country is a business. So if a governor, a number one citizen of his state, use such a word, you are motivating those terrorists, you are motivating those angry who pass through universities and they are jobless. You are indirectly telling them that they can engage in crime since you call it business. It's the country where we found ourselves. And in fact, we are just pleading that God will remember this country for intervention. I'm talking about the national grid collapse. I joined my thoughts with young man in the studio to sympathize with the 5 states that were affected. But it's a wake-up call to federal government. It's a wake-up call for them to start securing all government properties with the latest budget, talking about technology right now. As he said, if you were the soldier were on board, definitely those soldiers will be killed one way or the other. But you can't kill electronic devices, So it's a wake-up call to federal government. It's time for them to secure all government properties. He said earlier that they might decide to start visiting schools, bomb schools and institutions. I pray that will not happen because it will be a big tragedy to the country. But what we have to say then, this is a country when everybody has folded his hand or her hand, thinking that every responsibility is for the government. A caller last time on a particular program before you switch to this segment right now made mention of churches. What is churches doing to help the country? What are they doing to help the citizens or the members of their churches? When you build hospital and the members of your churches cannot afford to build the hospital bill, when you build schools and the members of your churches cannot afford to go to that school, and you came out tomorrow to tell us don't be equally yoked with unbelievers, and the same unbeliever that is going to your school paying you money, and you don't want to lay a legacy. You don't want to put a legacy to say the institution I have built is for my church members. As long as you're my church member and you set a set standard that you must have a certain qualification before you get admitted into my school, you have laid a legacy, a free education. So that's the country where we find ourselves. Let me rest my word to give other collections too. God bless you guys.
All right. So I think that's the last call we can pick. So what are your last words to some of these issues?
General overview for the educational sector. We want to see a summit that will address issues, segmented issues in the educational system that will bring good reforms back to the public schools. That on the area of insecurity, it's not just only the grid, lots of insecurities around there. Government should be aware, like the last caller said, government should be aware that these boys or these criminals are beginning to invade government property. So we need technological advancement on those government or public spaces, not only infrastructures, even on the streets, where on the very busy roads and all of that, so that they can be apprehended so easily. Thank you very much. I think that's my last word for.
Yes, our viewers, that is how far we can go. Like our analyst just mentioned, he has just said something that there is need for summit in a bid for us to have a forum where we can talk, discuss and chat a way forward towards the development of our education sector. We wish to go further, but everything that has a beginning must definitely have an end. We can go beyond this level. I want to thank you, our viewers, for being there. Without you, this program will be meaningless. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for all your submissions. And then for our analysts, thank you for coming. Thank you. You're always there for us every time we call. Thank you for the crew members, the people working behind the scene, our producer. Like what we usually say in KAFTAN, imagine a beautiful world. Make sure you stay out of trouble. Thank you. See you next time. I remain Ekaette Ibuot. Bye.